Annabel Lee is a poem written by Edgar Allan Poe in the year 1849. The poem itself describes the love between the speaker and Annabel Lee. Thus, it is no surprise that the poem is named after her to show her importance and significance in the speaker's life. Because the poem is about their love and the tragedy of her death, naming the poem after her makes the readers understand and see how passionate the speaker was about Annabel Lee. Not only is the poem named after her, but her name is written in the poem 7 times. And in stanza 1, the speaker says, "And this maiden she lived with no other thought than to love and be loved by me." When reading the poem, there isn't a certain pattern in the rhyme scheme, but without a doubt, there is one. The rhyme scheme of the poem is ABA, CB, DBE, BFB, GHB, IB, JB, FBGB, JB, EBBK, BLB, MBN, BOOBB. Throughout the poem, the speaker uses many literary devices in order to describe all the emotions that the speaker went through because of the tragedy of Annabel Lee and the speaker's love story. Poe uses alliteration when the speaker says, "The angels not half so happy in heaven" in stanza 4. Poe uses repetition a lot as well. For example, in stanza 2, child is repeated twice to emphasize the lover's youth. Imagery can also be seen in the poem. When the speaker says, "A wind blew out of the cloud by night, chilling my Annabel Lee" in stanza 3, by using the word blew, it provides a sense of motion which helps the readers imagine a cold breeze chilling Annabel Lee. Poe uses metaphors as well when the speaker says, "And the stars never rise, but I feel bright in the eyes, oh, of the beautiful Annabel Lee" in stanza 6. This means that even though Annabel is dead, he can still feel her existence because of their love. The tone of the poem starts as romantic and joyful because of how the speaker was describing their youthful love in stanza 1 and 2. However, from stanza 3 to 6, the tone shifts to darkness, sadness, and pain. The literal and figurative meanings are very different for this poem. The literal meaning of the poem is that the speaker is remembering his maiden Annabel Lee, whom he loved, and she loved him back. Although they were both young, their love was strong, so strong that the angels were so jealous from their love. The speaker recalls the day Annabel Lee dies because of a chilling breeze and how her family took her away. The speaker then emphasizes how not a day has passed without him thinking of his beloved Annabel Lee. The strength and passion of their love can be seen in stanza 2 when the speaker says, "But we loved with a love that was more than love, I and my Annabel Lee." The figurative meaning, however, of the poem is that the speaker represents Edgar Allan Poe and Annabel Lee represents Virginia, Poe's wife. The poem represents their love and its tragedy, but in a more exaggerated form in order to show Poe's pain and sadness. This can be seen when the speaker says, "With a love that winged seraphs of heaven coveted her and me" in stanza 2. The speaker shows that the angels jealous of their love to emphasize how beautiful and passionate it was. The first thing that came to mind when I read the title, Annabel Lee, was going to be an evil soul that haunts the speaker, because it reminded me of Annabelle the movie. After reading it, however, I understand that the title is the speaker's lover's name, and how the title makes the poem more tragic because of its sad ending. Naming the poem after the speaker's lover emphasizes on how important she was to the speaker. There are so many themes that can be found in the poem Annabel Lee. One of the most obvious themes is love and how it can overcome anything. For example, when the speaker says, "And the stars never rise, but I feel the bright eyes of the beautiful Annabel Lee" in stanza 6, this shows how their love is more powerful than anything. Even death can't break it apart. Another theme that is found in the poem is the supernatural. The speaker blames the supernatural, angels, heaven, God, etc., for the death of his beloved Annabel Lee, which has an impact on the overall creepy mood of the poem. This can be seen in stanza 4 when the speaker says, "The angels not half so happy in heaven went envying her and me."